Welcome to the Sure Group Show, episode 23. Pumped to tell you guys a bit about our new listing campaign. We put together a nice marketing piece called Selling Your Home, Our Plan. So as you know, we go all over the country to find the best practices and the latest and greatest techniques to get homes sold quickly for top dollar. So earlier this year, we were in Charleston, South Carolina, and then shortly after there, we were in Omaha, Nebraska, learning from the best Berkshire Hathaway agents, Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, it doesn't matter. Whoever's got the good ideas, we want to use them. So we compiled all that into a 4-phase listing plan, which we know will help you get the most money for your home and sell it with the least hassle. So in this video, I just want to go over phase 1. So right on the inside here, and I'll PDF all this up because this is all the phases here, and I'll do more videos. But for phase 1, the first critical component when consulting with a seller is to help them define their success. A lot of times agents assume, hey, they just want to sell their house for the most they can get, and that's the only thing that matters. Not really. There's a lot of other components going on, and it's so nice to know ahead of time what really is a win for your seller. So before going into anything else, phase 1 of the marketing and listing plan would be for a good agent to sit down with a seller and help them define what a successful transaction looks like. So what are the objectives? Do you need to sell it quickly, or is time frame not really that important? Is there a critical dependency on the actual figures? For example, we need to sell it for X so we make Y, or we need to sell it for X or we lose money. What is the motivation to sell? Oftentimes, depending on the season and other different dynamics going on, a seller's specific motivation can actually be an asset in the sales process. So what is your motivation to sell? And then, are you working with a bigger timeline outside of this home sale situation? A lot of times there's vacation homes involved, or kids going to college, or parents moving in, or life events that the sale has to fit in a specific window. So when you're defining success, it's a lot more than just, I need my house to sell for this price. Oftentimes we find it's a combination of a lot of things, and if we're going to act as a trusted advisor and as a and in an advisory capacity to a seller, we really need to know what a win is for them. Okay, so that's step 1, defining success. And then once we understand what a win is for our client, then we have to understand the market and make sure they understand the market as well. So just because you understood the market 2 months ago or 4 months ago doesn't mean you understand it today. So every agent, if they're honest with themselves, needs to know, hey, I need to do some study and due diligence here to figure out what are the exact market dynamics today and what do we think they'll be when we come on the market. So I've done videos on this in the past. I won't labor it to death, but understanding the market has to do with what's going on at a macro level in the country. Where are interest rates? How are consumer demand going? What's the first-time home buyer population doing? How many months supply of inventory do we have in the region? Down to the micro. In your neighborhood, what are 4-bed, 2-bath, single-family homes going for on a quarter of an acre? You got to understand the market. I touched on supply and demand. How many actives are on the market? If you were to list your house, who are you competing with? Who's also trying to sell their home? How many homes are pending or under contract? How long did it take them to go under contract? And how many are sold? And that data is very important to go over with the seller, so you can say, hey, on average, if we do our job right, we're going to get your home under contract in the first 33 days, and you can expect it to be with at least 98% of your listing price. And that varies neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city, county to county, state to state. So very important. And third, once you've defined success, have a decent understanding of the market, it's time to start the strategic planning. Okay, so now we know what a win looks like. We know what's going on in the market. how do we start to strategically plan the launch of your listing? Now the launch will be at a different phase. Again, this is just phase one of a 4-phase listing plan. But what we found very beneficial is for the seller and the people who know the home the best to give us every feature and benefit of the home. They've lived in the home for years. They know everything about it. What are all the features in the home? We have new HVAC. We got brand new hardwood here. We got a perfectly flat lot. All these little things, if we don't call that out and put it in front of the consumer when we're being the megaphone to the marketplace, hey, look at this house, they might miss it. So the features and benefits are really critical to lay out beforehand, not once you're on the market for 20 days. Oh, we should probably tell them that, you know, the HOA includes a pool membership, for example. So really spend some time on the features and benefits. That's a collaborative thing. That's you as the homeowner and us as the listing agents coming together to help, you know, craft a really good feature and benefit list. B, along the same lines, are what are the key differentiators in the neighborhood, in the home, in the area that would draw people to it? And this can be any number of things, but it's critical to think about that because, let's be honest, when people are buying your home, we need to get them emotionally jazzed up on it. And the key differentiators are good things to think about, again, before it's too late, before you've withered on the market for 10, 15, 20 days. And finally, who is our target market and how do we attract them? This is critical, and I'm not sure if many agents spend time on this at all, and if they do, not enough time. We call it a buyer profile targeting, but who is the target market? You know, if you're listing a $500,000 single family home on an acre with a pool, the buyer for that house is probably a little bit different from a $200,000 condo on the first floor that doesn't involve any steps versus, you know, a starter townhome or a city buyer versus a county buyer. And we spend a lot of time reverse engineering the data to find out who is the most likely demographic and target to buy this house based on age, income, location, occupation, and many, many, many more. So we identify the target market, and then how do we attract them? How do we attract the target market we've identified? We use every piece of technology we possibly can because we need to sell the house or we don't make any money and then you're not going to give us referrals. So we need to target and attract that target market. So we do that with Facebook, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, and all the traditional marketing sources like direct mail, excellent photography, broker outreach, plugging everything into every single IDX solution. IDX is a industry buzz term, which is the websites that allow you to search for listings like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, making sure not only are we putting our best foot forward on those sites, but is everything 100% accurate? Is our verbiage pulling out the key differentiators, the features and benefits? Are we on pace and on track to make sure you have a win as a seller to define your success? So that's just phase one. Look out for phase 2, 3, and 4. But as you can see, this is just the beginning to a successful listing process. Oh, by the way, as I mentioned, this is just phase one. You'll see when you watch phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 that you really need a team to pull this off appropriately. And really proud of the team we've assembled here at the Sure Sales Group to make sure that when we identify what a win is for the seller, all of us rally behind it and do everything we can to get it done.